Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 401k Marketing Podcast. Are you ready to be the go-to expert in the retirement plan community? Listen in as we share ideas, resources, and best practices that you can use to professionalize your firm, demonstrate your authority, and earn more 401k business.
This is the 401k Marketing Podcast with Rebecca Hourihan, CMO of 401k Marketing. I'm Patrice Sikora. This is the first episode of the series, and what better time to learn all about Rebecca from Rebecca. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? Rebecca, how did you get into financial services?
Thanks, Patrice. I think there's three instances that really pop into my mind. The first one is I was around 2 years old, and my dad sat me in front of the nightly business report. For those of us old enough on today's podcast to remember the nightly business report, it is way before the MSNBCs of the world and the Squawk Boxes. This was the old-fashioned ticker tape, corn futures, hog prices, and good old Grandpa Alan Greenspan reading you bedtime stories. And my dad was always been a huge believer in teaching about economics and what's going on. And so right from the toddler age that I was, there I sitting on the couch or sitting on the floor playing, I was listening to what I would eventually become my future. So that's the first instance that kind of pops into my mind, and there's photo evidence of it, I'm sure, that my parents would love to share with the world. The second one is I was in college. I was a freshman in college, and American Express. So this is, again, going back a while ago. American Express was hosting a internship program for people who wanted to be financial advisors. So I call my mom and I'm like, hey, can you come pick me up and drive me to this internship interview? So she drives over. It's like a 3-hour drive for her. She picks me up and she drives me to the interview. And I'm like, okay, thanks. And she goes, well, what do you expect me to do? Sit in the car for like the next hour while you're in there? And so my mom comes with me into the workshop, which is supposed to be for aspiring financial advisors. And she sits in the back of the class and she goes through the whole training episode. And then afterwards, I approach the gentleman who's hosting the course and I go, hey, my name's Rebecca Hourihan. I'm really interested in being an advisor. And he looks at me and he goes, how old are you? And I think I was barely 18 at the time. So I said, I'm 18. He's like, I honestly don't even know if that's legal. I'll have to come back and check. And so that was kind of the second instance. And then the third is within financial services. I did graduate from college and then immediately joined a financial advisory practice. And I was so excited about being able to have the opportunity to help people be more financially secure. And I think the reason why is because it was such a core tenet in my family to openly talk about it. Talk about money, talk about finances, budgeting. And I wanted to be able to genuinely share that with other professionals and people and families. And I take a lot of joy in the work that we do.
Speaking of the nightly business report, that was on your public TV station, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Good call, Patrice. I think at the time we had, 15 channels back in those days?
Oh, who knows? I don't even remember. But now you say you work with people, you want to help people. What is your specialty?
At 401k Marketing, we're a niche branding and marketing agency, and we specifically support retirement plan professionals with helping them develop better 401k plans for employers and for employees.
What's your ideal client?
Our ideal client comes in a variety, I'll say that way. The first one is retirement plan advisors. Those advisors who truly specialize in the 401k space, and they are working with dedicated employers that are motivated to help their employees save through a workplace retirement plan. That's kind of the first group of our ideal clients. The other ideal clients are the additional service providers in the retirement plan space. And those could be record keepers, wirehouses, asset managers, TPAs, who also all have that same mission at the end of the day, which is helping hardworking folks save more so that way eventually when they've reached that retirement finish line, they're confident and they're comfortable and they're excited to take that next step within their life journey.
How do you find new clients? How do you acquire new clients?
So this question, I was at a conference when we used to do conferences about 2 years ago. And one of our, an advisor came up to me and he's like, hey, Rebecca, like, what do you guys do for marketing? What do you do? We actually do a lot more than I think a lot of folks realize. I've since the very beginning have done retargeting ads, so display ads through Google. We do a series of different email campaigns. I'm very honored and humbled to be an industry writer, the space in both Napa Net Magazine as well as 401k Specialist Magazine. So thank you to both publications, huge supporter, very gracious for that opportunity. We are industry speakers at many of the wonderful conferences. I get to share what our clients experience, some of those results, and present that through different presentations. I've been featured a couple of different instances on podcasts. I've also been a guest on Retireaholics, which is a very funny, wonderful, zany video show. If you haven't seen it on YouTube, I highly recommend everyone checks it out. And then social media, of course, through and through. So it's about 15 different dimensions of marketing that we genuinely try to be active at all points in time. And now the 401k Marketing Podcast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, do you find that you get your clients and they need education? What kind of client education do you do?
When working with clients, I find that there's really two camps. There's the first set of clients that they know and they believe in their hearts of hearts that marketing works. They just don't know where to start. And that's the first thing. It's just saying, hey, let's discuss who your ideal clients are, your own ideal clients. And then how can we develop a communication strategy so that way you can get in front of them. The other group of clients are the ones who have tried marketing in the past and they just, what can I do that's different? What can I do that's unique? How can I differentiate? And that's where we take a really strategic approach. Again, we go back to what are your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats? And then how can we put together some sort of unique marketing plan that's going to make you pop within the industry, really get you noticed as that go-to retirement plan expert.
Rebecca, it sounds like you are really busy. Tell me about the people on your team. Who are they and what do they do?
I have the best team in the whole darn industry. So we have, our group is comprised of 12 different professionals across a range of different areas of focus, from in-house copywriting, design, editing, to compliance. A lot of times different advisory firms are a little hesitant on the compliance side. Well, one of our teammates spent 10 years in a nationally recognized broker-dealer in the ERISA compliance area. So we have that backwards and forwards in spades. And then we also have professional copy editors. So after you've looked at the content for 20 times in a row and you feel like you can recite it, every once in a while you might miss a letter. So we make sure that we have a robust copy editing team. And then of course, from a technician standpoint, all of our in-house writers have at least a decade of working in the 401k world.
Oh, those extra little letters, they get past you every time. I swear they do.
They really do.
Yes. What do you do out in the community?
In the community, I live in San Diego, California. And lately, I've actually been very involved in an angel investing group. That's kind of been my new passion, which is I love seeing the creativity and the excitement and just the sparkle in the new entrepreneur's eyes. So that's one thing I've been doing. However, in the 401k community, I would say that I hope to think that I've been very active. I'm a huge supporter of women in pensions. If anyone here is not familiar with Women in Pensions, it's this fantastic organization for females who are in our industry. And it's a collaborative, supportive group where you can share kind of funny stories or case studies. And it's, I hate to call it a sisterhood, but it is. It's just this wonderful group
sisterhood, baby, sisterhood.
Yeah, it's a sisterhood. So such a wonderful organization.
Tell me about your education and any designations you may have.
I have the AIF, which stands for Accredited Investment Fiduciary, and the PPC, which is Professional Plan Consultant designations. Both are through FI 360, and they are specific to the 401k world.
All right. Do you have a specific marketing philosophy you can share?
Marketing is the mother's milk of business.
I love it.
One day I was goofing around with my team and it just came out of my mouth. We kind of joke about that. But yeah, that's what we believe. Marketing works. It takes time. And when you do it well, you're going to grow healthy and strong.
With that in mind, what is your idea of success?
Success is in the eye of the beholder. Success could mean business success in terms of bringing on new clients. It could mean revenue. It could mean, for me, success actually means being comfortable in my skin, in the business, and feeling like we're making a difference in the world. And even though that difference might seem really small in the grand scheme of things, that we feel that our mission is being carried out through the great work that our clients are doing across our wonderful nation.
And is there one thing you recommend most to clients, family, and friends?
The importance of travel. Huge believer in the importance of getting out of your comfort zone and seeing things with a different lens. When you're growing, it always feels like a challenge because you're learning more. You're exposing yourself to new opportunities and your eyes are getting bigger. And that could mean volunteering someplace that's not in your hometown. It could mean going on that long drive across the country to see different portions of how all of us live, or it could be eventually hopping back on that plane and traveling the world. I'm a huge proponent of making sure that everyone gets, especially on our team, as an organization, we generally take at least one, if not more, major trips per year, each team member, someplace kind of fun. I just completed a cross-country road trip, actually around 10,000 miles, where we got to see all the different, we basically made a giant square around our country.
Wow.
Yeah, we just got back in July.
That's great.
Yeah, thanks. And I got to actually interview at random diners and hotels, different employers, just asking them like, hey, do you guys have a retirement plan at your company? And I got to hear some of their responses, which was like, yeah, I've got that, or
no, I don't.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, that old thing. It was really, and we're just casual chit chat dialogue, and in the conversations with these people, they pretty much shared everything within about 10 minutes, which was fascinating. I recently wrote about it in an upcoming Napa article.
Now, you have the attention of many people who will be listening to this podcast. Who do you want to have listen, and how can they reach you or your office?
We'd love to have retirement plan advisors listen in to today's podcast and future podcasts as well. And if, as a retirement plan professional, if you're interested in joining the podcast and sharing some of your stories, we welcome that opportunity. Also, different home offices in the retirement plan departments of those home offices, broker-dealers, wirehouses, asset managers, DCIOs. These are all of our friends in the industry, as well as the wonderful TPAs and the quality work that they're doing.
And how can people reach you?
Please feel free to reach out to us on our website, which is 401k-marketing.com. You can reach me directly at Rebecca at 401k-marketing.com as well.
Rebecca Hourihan of 401k Marketing. To make sure you know when a new episode of Rebecca's 401k Marketing Podcast is available, simply subscribe using the subscribe button on this page. And you can also share with colleagues and friends with the share button. I'm Patrice Sikora, and let's talk again later.
Thank you so much for listening to today's 401k Marketing Podcast. Click the subscribe button below to be notified when new episodes become available. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of our guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of 401k Marketing. The content has been available for informational and educational purposes only. We hope you enjoyed.